Hello everyone, welcome to my Dragonbane solo campaign. I think we're in chapter 2, session 4. Yes, session 4. I actually recorded part of this but lost my video. Storage problems. That's my number one issue with recording stuff on my phone, is constantly battling storage issues. Very frustrating. Anyway, where were we? When we last left our intrepid hero, Sir Isaac Loosejaw Hobgoblin Knight. He had just put on his forest green short shorts and his light blue tank top and tomb raided the bullseye barrow. He found a fully preserved corpse in there that had been preserved by this ancient altar by people falling to their deaths down a trapdoor at the top of the barrel. He disarmed that, robbed the corpse of its wealth, and then spent some time trying to disable the trapdoor, silencing the voices and hopefully preventing any further incidents from the strange barrow that has been luring people to their deaths for who knows how long. I found a bag of silver coins. I just rolled on it, just FYI. You know, it's a times silver right there. I always thought that was a plus. D6 times 5. That was more than I would have thought. Anyway, I rolled a 4. 20 silver. I also finally had a rather large success. I found an armor and shield per my house rules that I've been following. I've been rolling a 6 or a D6 every time I roll a loot, and if I roll a 6, I was going to convert that to a magic item. I'll be darned if I didn't roll a 6 on this armor and shield, and then turn around and roll a 4, indicating that's a great helm, a magic great helm. Wow. Quite the find. I mean, there are 32 cards in this deck. I'm sorry, 42 treasure cards in this deck, of which one and only one is an armor and shield. So that's a 1 in 42 chance to draw this card. 1 in 6 to roll it as a magic item. Another 1 in 6 to actually roll the great helm. I don't know what the odds of all that is. As I've said before, I'm not that great at probabilities, but let's say that probability is really low. And the odds of me finding another great helm, I don't even want to think about it. So I made a fairly nice magic item out of the deal. You know, as I've talked about in Dragonbane rules, there aren't a whole lot of guidance on magic items other than casting a permanent spell effect on an item. Pretty easy when you're making a wand of firebolts. A little more weird when you're trying to make a magic helm. So I just made my own. Oh, there is kickstarting right now. The Book of Magic coming out by Free League that will have magic items in it. If you are interested in Dragonbane, go out and support that Kickstarter. It's going to be pretty great. So I try to make not only a really good magic item, but something thematically appropriate, since I pulled this off a well-preserved corpse. He was wearing a helm of eternal health. Armor class 3, that's one armor class better than a normal great helm to reflect its kind of magic status. 2 effects. In open opposed rolls to resist poison and disease, you may reroll a failed con roll. You must keep the rerolled results. That should help him be able to succeed against poison and disease in very worst case scenarios. On a round rest, you heal 1 hit point. Normally on a round rest, it's a minute rest, you restore a d6 of willpower. Anyway, thought that was kind of fun. On a stretch rest, you heal an additional 1d6. That should be great for me recovering from fights a little bit. It's not super powerful, I don't think. It's a fairly easy going magic item. It's not overpowering at all, but maybe has some useful traits in certain circumstances. I'll keep that around. I've written it on my character sheet. Puts my armor class up to a 7. That's starting to get kind of beefy at a 7. I like it. I like it a lot. What else? Let's see. I've also finally taken the dive. I've plunged. I have become a true solo gamer. I've taken it to the next level. You know you've gone down the solo gaming rabbit hole when you started making your own random tables. It finally happened. You've heard me kind of complain a little bit. Maybe complain's a little strong. But kind of complain a little bit about how the exploration tables in the solo rules for Dragonbane were built quite heavily towards Deep Fall Breach. You know, its locations being very much geared towards underground, dungeon, you know, cavernous places with underground dungeon monsters. So I've kind of done this, I've rewritten the inhabitants table to be more reflective of the outdoor environment that we're living in. For example, I've gotten rid of the orcs. Daykin, replaced it with our Daykin folks, more civilized lands. Gotten rid of the cultists, replaced them with bandits. There are a couple other adjustments in here too, making it a little bit more above ground oriented. Area tables the same way. A few less on the claustrophobic crawl spaces and cramped chambers, and a little bit more into the, say, inhabited farms, desecrated houses, forgotten ruins, things a little bit more above ground. So hopefully when I roll future oracles for unknown locations and things like that, it'll be a little more appropriate to the land we're in, make it a little easier on my brain. I probably still do need to kind of work on the subtables. You know, I'd kind of like to get rid of fiery surroundings, flowing magma, you know, those kind of weird things. Open it up a little bit more to more above ground things, but that's another task for another time. I can still work with that. Okay, I think that covers most of the old business, I think. We're moving on to waypoint 4, having finished now waypoint 3. I have written waypoint 4. That's another written one as well. Let's see here. Here we go. Waypoint 4. Off the road is an old manor house surrounded by a stone fence. An iron gate hangs half off its hinges. From the outside, it looks overgrown with thorny vines and abandoned. The wind, blowing through the grass, seems to reach a fevered pitch here. There are no whispers, only screams. Ooh, getting spookier as we go along. Very, very much getting spookier. However, I think we're doing a little bit more of a social encounter to begin with before I make it completely off the road to the old manor house, which we've been warned about from other folks, the discussion of that manor house. As it descends from the top of the barrow, as I said, I kind of erased the video and had a rest, but I am at half hit points. Most of my willpower points are gone. He's pretty beat up, although he doesn't really have any, you know, conditions to speak of. He's not exhausted or sickly or dazed. I didn't really push any rolls or have anything that really did that, but he's still at half hit points, and I'm going to need to rest again here soon, but I really did just rest just before I went in that barrow. I've been there a while. I think I am going to raise the threat counter to 3. Even though I was fairly successful, that gauntlet of skeletons was fun, and I was fairly successful, but he has spent some time trying to dismantle this burrow to stop the trap and the trap door at the top, stop other people from dying in this place. So that did take a considerable amount of time. I think he's got about an hour and a half left of daylight. The sun is kind of just barely hanging above the horizon. It's dipping down, so he's going to try to progress maybe until nightfall before he takes his rest, even though he's hurt kind of badly. He makes his way back through the trail he's hacked through the grass, back to the main road. Got back on top of Pork Chop. Pork Chop's been waiting for him. And he heads on back down this road to the north. As he travels up in the road in front of him, he does see what looks to be a mallard standing by a cart at the side of the road, kind of just looking over to the horizon, maybe watching the sun set down over there. And really probably flowing this way, north and south is really where he's going. But you get the petition. So he kind of goes up. He rides up towards the mallard. Mallard doesn't seem to be noticing him. He's smoking a pipe and just kind of looks like he's just kind of hanging out, looking kind of reflective. Not really looking around. Isaac stops some distance away because, like I said, he knows his wolf intimidates people. These Dakin aren't used to seeing big wolves being ridden around. But this Mallard doesn't seem to have seen him yet. He rides up a little closer. Mallard still doesn't turn his head. Finally, he dismounts, lets Pork Chop hang out behind him a little bit, and kind of approaches the mallard. Finally, out of the mallard's peripheral vision, he finally sees Isaac. He jumps a bit and almost drops his pipe. Ashes kind of get spread around every pass the ashes down on himself, put himself back. He's like, oh, you scared me. He's like, sorry, didn't mean to scare you. Just traveling down the road. Oh, that's fine. He takes the little hat he's been kind of wearing off his head. Isaac sees it more clearly now. It's some sort of thing that was covering the mallard's ears. I think even ducks and mallards do have ears. A little strange. Anyway, they do have ears. and this mallard says, "Oh, it's okay, traveler. My name is Willard Quackenbush. I'm a merchant. I had my earmuffs on, so I didn't hear you approach." And he says, "Oh, earmuffs. That's right. Well, that's the only way to travel around here. These are an invention of my very own. They're a little a device that fits over your ears, a little hat, and it muffles the surrounding sound. I call them earmuffs." And he says, "Okay. Oh, well, that sounds very useful in this land." Quackenbush says, "Yes, that's right. I sell a lot of these to people who travel through the whispering grass. You can't travel and listen to those voices all day long. It'll drive you mad." I agree. What are these voices? Has it always been this way?" Quackenbush says, "As far as I know, I don't know what these voices are, but I get tired of listening to them with their crazy suggestions and just genuine bad attitude." Its existence. I feel the same way with these whispering grasslands. I didn't mean to startle you. Are you just resting here? Quackenbush says, "Yes, that's right. I'm a merchant, my friend. Come on up, take a look. You can look through my wares." As he says, "Oh, well, I wasn't really planning to see a merchant out here or do any shopping at the moment. I'm headed north." Quackenbush says, "Well, I can tell. Heading back to your homeland, huh?" And Isaac says, "Oh, well, not really. I don't come from the north." "Oh," Quackenbush is a little surprised. He's like, "Oh, well, I've known many of your kind, Goblin. I do trade often in the town of Bilgewater along the coast. It's a big goblin city. I often go there in my routes. And I've seen many a goblin's day, although maybe not one as big as you." As it goes, well, I'm not a goblin, I'm a hobgoblin. Have you seen any of my kind? Mr. Quackenbush goes, a hobgoblin? Well, what's a hobgoblin? You look just like a goblin. Maybe a little big. It kind of says, oh, we're not quite the same. Quackenbush stares at him a little while, like saying, oh, yeah, maybe you do look a little different than a goblin. I don't know, something in the face. As it goes, well, you're the first one to notice. Quackenbush says, well, I don't know if many people trade with goblins. I make trips up to Bilgewater several times a year. Okay. So you know the roads pretty well then? Oh. Well, I do. Why don't you do some shopping of my wares, and I'll be glad to, answer your questions if you want. Maybe you just need to purchase an item and peruse them while I'm here. That seems to be a bit of a hint. Isaac says, sure, what do you carry? Oh, I'm an alchemist, my friend. I trade mostly in all sorts of potions, balms, oils, anything to soothe the body and the mind. I've got it all. You won't regret it. I'm sure there's something that'll cure what ails you. You look like you could use a healing potion, my friend. You look like you've been through some things recently. You're kind of bleeding all over the ground. Isaac looks around. Well, no, I've patched up my wounds. I know I got bandages on me. Yeah, I am a little beat up. How much are your healing potions? 50 gold. 50 gold? They're very expensive to make, my friend. You want to try to buy a potion, you quaff it right now, and you see your wounds heal magically while you're standing here right in front of me. That's magic, my friend, that cannot be undervalued. He says, well, I don't have 50 gold. That's a lot of money. Oh. Well, come in, take a look. And he kind of pulls it back here. I tell you what, I got something that might suit your needs. I do make a healing concoction. Works just the same way, just maybe takes overnight to get it done. Much more reasonable price. 2 gold. 2 gold, and you can have a healing concoction, rub it on your wounds, and you'll wake up the next day right as rain. As he said, well, that sounds more like it. Will you take 15 silver? I'll try to make a barter roll. Let's try it. Oh no, 19. Sorry, friend, 2 gold. I'm already selling you practically at cost. Oh, okay, I'll take one of those. I did actually already purchase it here. Like I said, I lost a video. I wrote it down. I already took off 2 gold. That's an FYI. Results worked out the same. I failed the bargaining either way. Now look what else I got here. Take a look. You need to cure poison. You got to cure your disease. I can cure you of a ghoul rot and a heartbeat. You look like the type of adventurer who gets himself in trouble. As he says, well, not intentionally. Tools are part of the trade, Mr. Quackenbush. Oh, right. What do you think? Potion cure disease? This will cure you and it'll rot out between your toes before you even know it. How much? Oh, 5 gold. I think I'll pass at this time. Maybe do you have anything else? Mr. Quackenbush says, well, I do have some assorted sundries. I do carry some of your basic things. How about torches? Sure. 5 silver each. I did go and buy a couple extra torches. Knocked off that 10 silver already off of this. How about rations? Oh, nope, don't have any of those. All the food I have, I keep. Okay. Well, maybe you can tell me a bit about the road going forward. Oh. Well, what do you want to know? Well, I heard that there's a fork up ahead, and you take it to the west, it'll take you to the village of Derry of the Downs. That's kind of where I'm headed. Oh, sure, that's exactly right. The road does split up ahead. Take the west, that's where I come from. Go over to the west, take that road on down. Maybe you're another day away. I'll take you to Derry on the Downs. You keep on taking that road west, you'll come across a couple more villages. Eventually, you make your way to the coast. As I said, from there, you can go north to Bilgewater and maybe go to the lands of your people. Well, as I said, I'm not really from the north. Oh, that's right. You're not from the north. Oh, no. I'm from a kingdom of the south called Three Towns. Oh, that must be pretty far to the south. I've never heard of it. Yes, maybe a month and a half I've been traveling. Oh, that's fascinating. What brings you so far north? Well, I'm carrying a letter from my king from Three Towns, hoping to deliver it to the king of the Nightkin Kingdom of the North. Quackenbush kind of laughs. King? There's no king in the Kingdom of the North, my friend. I think that's just a misnomer. Oh, really? No. That place is ruled by warlords, orc warlords. You'll never find a king up there. Oh, he says warlords. What else can you tell me? Well, like I said, I don't live up there. I just trade in the goblin town of Bilgewater. It's a massive city on the coast, port city. There's quite a few goblin towns and cities, in those lands, from my understanding. But by and large, there's 5 orc clans. They occasionally switch control of that kingdom every so often. I don't know much about orc and goblin politics, but most part, whenever I go to Bilgewater, I try to find out which orc clans rule in the place. Some are definitely more friendly to kin than others. If it's one of the unfriendly ones, I'm making a very short trip. Oh, well, how many times have they changed hands since you've been up there? Well, I've been trading with Bilgewater probably come now 12 years. I don't know, maybe 4 different times? Oh, it's kind of disheartens Isaac a little bit. That doesn't sound very helpful for what he's hoping to find out. Oh, well, I don't know if I want to travel all the way to the coast. How far is it? Well, you're probably looking about a good 4 or 5 days to the coast and probably another 4 or 5 days north to Bilgewater. Over a week for sure. Isaac says, well, I heard if you go north here at the crossroads, that too will get you there. Mr. Quackenbush thinks to himself, well, yeah, I guess that's true. Probably the Nightkin realm is to the north. I know the road goes north there as well, but I've never traveled down it. You never traveled north here at the crossroads? No, why would I? I go from the west. That's where I live. I hear the wetlands are half underwater. I don't think I could ever take my cart that far. Oh, do you know anything else about that route? Well, I'm going to try to roll a persuasion roll here, I think. 3! Oh, that did kind of work out. It kind of says, well, it would be very helpful to me because although I am going to Derry on the Downs, I don't think I'm going to be going all the way to the coast, but I don't know what's much north of here. Mr. Quackenbush ponders it for a second. Well, I know that, there's the wetlands, and my understanding is it's half underwater up there. Past that's a swamp. I hear it's even worse. Quagmires, all sorts of things up there. I would never take my cart up in that area. There's no villages to trade with anyway, except maybe I've heard some frogs live up there, frogkin villages, but they probably don't have any money. I don't even know where they are, but if you're looking for any sort of friends, I don't know if you'll find much up in that part of the world. Okay. Well, I appreciate that, Mr. Quackenbush. If it's any help to you, I can certainly tell you on your way to, if you're going on your way to High Karn, yeah, that's right. Someone charged me a 2 silver toll to climb up the hills. Who charged you 2 silver toll? I don't know. Some big guys wielding axes, and that's what they demanded from me. Actor looks a little frustrated. And that's the thing about the Whispering Grasslands. Normally, they're free of bandits. No one stays in this area very long because of the voices. If you stay here long enough, you'll go mad. That's why this is one of the safest roads you could probably travel in the whole kingdom. Ain't no one here. Even the village to the west, such as your Derby on the Downs place, well, people don't make it long in these villages. The voices in the grass never stop. That's why I make a killing off of selling my earmuffs. You sure you don't want to buy a pair of my earmuffs? Isaac says, well, how much are they? 2 gold. Heck of a bargain at the price. Well, Isaac, of course, doesn't really know fear. He's not really afraid of these voices, but he is disturbed by them. Thank you, Mr. Quackenbush, but I don't plan on staying in these grasslands long either. I think I, too, am going to hightail it out of here as fast as I can. Smart move. Be careful when you're out in Derry on the Downs. And some of those villages out there, like I said, they're all a little off from listening to those voices for too long. Just mind yourself. They're good people, but they aren't all there anymore. You know what I mean? Every once in a while, one will just pick off and wander into the grasslands and never get hurt again. Those villages don't do so well. Oh, he says, okay, well, I'll keep that in mind. All right then. Well, maybe I'll see you on the way back. Okay. Good, safe travels to you, Mr. Quackenbush. And they kind of part ways. Isaac knows he's still got about an hour and a half left of daylight. He forgot to ask him about that manor house that he'd heard about at the crossroads, Mr. Quackenbush, because the toll keepers did tell him about that old manor house, but he forgot to ask him about it. Oh well. He gets back on his mount, heads up about an hour and a half north. It's getting pretty dark by then. He knows he must be getting close to the crossroads at this point. Isaac makes camp for the night, much like he did, before he sets up that tent. I'm not going to re-roll some of the... I succeeded in my bushcraft roll this time. Just trust me on it. Made camp, got my health and my willpower points back. I'm not going to re-roll all that hullabaloo. I did subtract a ration. I tried to do some hunting and fishing, did not succeed. But yeah, so I guess I'm in good shape. The next morning, Isaac does wake up feeling much better, much more refreshed. He didn't have to use that healing concoction that he purchased, thankfully, because he was able to sleep through the night. Maybe it was that new helmet of eternal health kept him feeling a little charged, a little refreshed from the night. And it, too, helped muffle the voices. Who needs a pair of fancy earmuffs when you got a great helm? I think I ended up doing the same thing. I think I might take a little pause in the video here, and then we'll move on to waypoint 4.